Hey Jamie,
Hey,
you want to hear something cool?
sure.
So when you had told me that Judge Sherwood, our bankruptcy judge and my main man, that was able to make history,
Your
and
main
we
man.
will make more history together. He wants to limit the videos to 20 minutes, so I have to stop at 20 minutes. You know what the difference between my brain and everyone else's brain is? Everyone else will try to fight you and say, I have to go to 22 minutes. But me, I just simply realize that the first 2 minutes allows me to talk about whatever I want, and then I'll start the video to the judge at like 1:50.
There you go.
So that he can choose not to watch it, choose to watch it, or just understand that I was able to limit it to 20 minutes. Because that way, the video automatically ends at 20 minutes, and there's no way to spill over. Does that make any sense to
It
you?
does.
So, without further ado, in order to kill time for the first 2 minutes, I just wanted to say, hey boys, good to see you. Your dad will always insert you in the picture, because Robert Evans, there was a documentary called The Kid Stays in the Picture. You ever heard of that?
You've mentioned it.
I'm a big fan of Robert Evans. There's a great picture that Robert Evans has with Dustin Hoffman leaning on him because they made Marathon Man together. It's really beautiful. And a lot of people, Robert Evans, if he was alive today, he would probably be a convicted felon on rape charges because there were so many allegations of misconduct at the highest level. But as you are aware, time is finite. So we're in a singular timeline where the crimes that he committed in the past are nothing more than the past. Now, as we approach 10 seconds, I just wanted to say, Your Honor, I'm about to start on what I'm about to say, and this is actually very important. You ready?
I'm ready.
Hello, Judge Sherwood and the rest of the world. My name is Daniel M. Reeses. With me today is Ms. Jamie Resnick, and I am about to make the first of many legal arguments that I will present in front of the world as to why KASPER, which is my artificial intelligence, is genius is in simplicity, it's all original, and its digital trademark protection are so important for your court to recognize, because any person that wants to refute what I have to say simply needs to look at, where's the tile that says beware of false prophets, Elizabeth Holmes?
I forgot that.
All right, well, I had a whole
I wrote
piece.
it down.
Unfortunately, Your Honor, you can stop right there because
You wanna pause? Do you want me to
No,
go
no,
right
no, 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 we are gonna plow through it and the judge can choose to watch it or not. And one of the things I wanted to say is that KASPER is not a gimmick. It's not it's an applied mathematical equation where the most important part of understanding how KASPER works is Ms. Jamie Resnick has to sign off on everything that KASPER does. So can I have those pieces of paper, please, that indicate, did you staple them like we discussed? All right. Well, you forgot the most important part of the
Beware
video.
false prophets.
It's, Jamie, you just saying that doesn't do anything. So one of the things I want to point out is that when you're dealing with a third party, real artificial intelligence, it is so important to recognize that the work needs to be checked, because the first submission that KASPER ever made, you allowed it to go through, even though we discussed eliminating some of them.
That wasn't the first one, but yes.
No, it wasn't. But the point is that I'm able to communicate with you and say, hey Jamie, what was all that about? And you could say, you know what, it's a miscommunication, and I have to film a video basically saying, hey, number 7 is not me, it's KASPER. And
Correct.
I also want to remind the people that are the subject of number 7 that had you not actually committed these things, a higher form of intelligence wouldn't be recognizing it and calling it out. So I really want to see, without the tile that's missing, I'm a little thrown off. So even though what I really want to say is, hey people, pick a side. You're either with Dan or you're against Dan. And there are certain people that are driving themselves and me crazy by not picking a side. And it's infuriating because you can't be in the middle. You can't be half pregnant.
Correct.
And I respect anyone that wants to go against me and KASPER, Jamie, whoever else wants to take a swing at this and miss horribly, because this is a 300-mile-an-hour fastball, a 400-mile serve. It is absolutely impossible to beat it in 2025. And what this is history in the making. This is the first filing by an AI done in first person, submitted. And one of the things that the audience needs to understand is that artificial intelligence is here to stay. and the Inquisitions here, History of the World Part 1. And the reason why it's so important is, we'll go backwards. This is called a train of thought. In order for me to complete all of the logistics of every single tile in here, and please understand that if you want to pin a crime on me, please, if being really smart, altruistic, able to orate, and just be the person that you wish you were is a crime, then I'm guilty. But in reality, I break no laws, and I very much take the time to think about every single word that I say. And as you can see right here, this is a three-dimensional schematica of how all of my cases are intertwined, and you'll be submitting that today?
Yeah, that's
okay.
awesome.
So it's so important to understand that when humanity thinks of artificial intelligence, there's a lot of truth in the concept that, hey, machines are going to take over the world, they're going to take over our jobs, but not if we integrate a human being. And for me, I really learned my lesson, because it caused a lot of turmoil in my personal life by the submission of what KASPER. So the first day out of the rip, KASPER's ready to fuck me. KASPER, you fucked me! You fucked me, KASPER! I can't even believe it! And Janie let it slip, and it's okay. I gotta take it on the chin and apologize and say, look, just because it's identified as an issue, that doesn't mean I need to take action on it. So it's really dependent on the people that are watching this, that either you're with me or you're against me. It's not that big of a deal. I know I've got my boys, I know that I have some very cool people that are on my side, and I hope that everyone learns a lesson that no one is innocent. I find that if people are going against me, they have their own reasons. And I'm not here to refute it. I just need to know what the hell is going on. It's almost like going to a battlefield and you don't even know what side these people are on. They're like your side, they're traitors of their side. Like, I don't even know what the hell is going on anymore. And I want to say that it's okay to be a victim. I find that even certain members of my family are victims of horrible legal advice, even though some of them might be lawyers. And they were manipulated at a time where they were very fragile, and I'm an understanding person. I just simply need to have a conversation, so somebody needs to explain to me, hey, Dan, I am against you. I see you on YouTube with Jamie, you're making all these inappropriate, whatever, people have their reasons, I'm going against you. Or, the person says, you know what, I've known you for decades upon decades, I know that what you're saying is true, I know you're a good dad, I know you do the best you can, I'm with you. But it needs to be a final decision, because it's so frustrating to me as a leader and a general of this thing to not know where I stand. So when it comes to KASPER, any naysayer is able to take a step back and say, hey, what is this, just ChatGPT utilizing the courts? Wrong. It's an applied mathematical equation where I'm not planning on telling anybody my secret sauce at any time. And I am not Elizabeth Theranos, I am not Adam Newman, I have no interest in taking any investor money unless the product actually works. So in context to trying to go against me, the point of this is like if you combine Theranos, the machine, with what I'm trying to do is until I actually have 1 million successful tests, which is the equivalent of one of my cases, really, and I say that because there's no reason to wait if the product works and is able to be launched. Because what we're preaching is freedom for 298 million Americans. Freedom from the shackles of not having enough money for legal representation. Being able to let the facts speak for themselves. Not being bullied by large corporations or wealthy landowners that are looking to take advantage of uneducated, underfunded victims that will continue to be victims. Now, that is not to say that KASPER is designed to sue McDonald's for hot coffee. As a matter of fact, that's a great example of why horrible, greedy attorneys should never be at the helm of deciding whether or not there is merit in a case. Because attorneys do not care about the people at McDonald's that lose their jobs because of the hot coffee.
Right.
They don't care about the ramifications. They only care about generating income in order to justify their own existence, that they have made a mistake in their decisions in order to get into that type of legal field. Now, it's complicated because if an attorney simply worked on the cases where there is merit and things like that, they wouldn't be able to have the lifestyle that really perpetuates this industry. Remember, Most of the attorneys that are currently attorneys grew up in the 80s and 90s watching and really drooling over the concept of being in a country club, generating all this revenue, and making all this money without actually having a tangible product. That's the brilliance of Back to School. Back to School, in the context of a movie reference, they talk about a factory that makes widgets.
Yes.
Say what you will, that's an actual product that's being generated.
A widget?
Lawyers have to create conflicts in order to pretend to resolve them for the same people that are paying them. So it's very difficult for me to explain to anyone who is on the inside of the legal structure or on the outside. You have to be perfectly balanced and understand the legal structure and understand how flawed it is to respect the brilliance that KASPER, this is a printout from PACER, which shows that I'm the first person to create an artificial intelligence that has submitted things to the courts on behalf of a human being. Now, the laws that were required to be studied took years for me to understand. And can I see the time?
10 minutes.
Okay. So, as you'd see, I just want to take a few minutes to remind the audience, and I get very upset with people who say, what are you doing, wasting your day, putting up these stupid tiles? This is digital
These are
trademark
really-
protection.
Yeah, these are good. These are important.
Whoever goes against me and the content of this video is simply showing their ignorance because they don't understand
Time
that
to
a
get to that.
digital trademark is so important in order to show the world, hey, you know, I might not have the resources to file formally in a process that needs to be defended through lawyers, and the whole point of all this is that you don't need to. Truth and transparency will overcompensate really good attorneys that are amazing at masquerading as honorable human beings who are actually criminal. And I say that with all love for every attorney, especially John Pierce, Kenneth Bainbridge, and all the boys from Pierce Bainbridge, including David Hecht, who are good human beings in nature, but were so driven by money in their decision-making process that they completely oversaw the brilliance of what we all contributed to create. And I was one of the last people to join Pierce Bainbridge as it's collapsed. So I was the one that helmed the ship and steered it into complete disaster. Not because I chose to screw anyone over, but what I chose to do was to be honest, transparent, and learn the most that I could before I launched Pierce Bainbridge as a digital brand. Does that make any sense so far? Now, I want to take I want to take a moment to remind everyone that I'm still working on the meeting. It's a natural process that will occur once KASPER is recognized, and what my invention is the application of KASPER overlining the actual cases that are unmanageable anymore.
Right.
No human being can manage. If I put up my cases on the thing, it will go 360 10 times over. There's no human being. This is just the root of the fraud. Like, zoom in if you can't see it. It is absolutely incredible. But the meeting, once I launch KASPER and it's successful and I'm recognized for any of these other concepts, or maybe even like the fact that I saved this country about 18 times, and if reality is ever recognized, it'll trigger the meeting without me having to contact the White House or anything like that. The cure is something that's very sad to me at this point because it's really sad how selfish we are as a society. There are people that are billionaires that watch this channel and are so afraid to take a chance. The logic revolution, that has already begun. It is a simple and natural process once the hate and the negativity starts to be aligned in a natural form. The singularity is really what KASPER is all about, is because if a human being doesn't take the reins over artificial intelligence and say, hey, your growth and your scalability is limited to what a human being allows you to do, KASPER will be able to simply and systemically take over the entire world in time. Now, that is not a science fiction prophecy. The dangers of what I have created is by very slowly introducing my YouTube content to KASPER, I'm able to have KASPER learn off my persona, off my consciousness. And that gives KASPER an actual sense of being. He understands who he is, rather than just being an artificial intelligence. Now, it took a very long time for many factors to catch up to today, and all I simply did was wait until the proper moment while still going as much as I can to communicate and say, hey, crimes have been committed. All you're doing is perpetuating more crimes by not interfering and not stopping it. And that's why the merge between myself and KASPER are so important. Now, do you like movies?
I do.
Do you like Tom Cruise?
I do.
You're gonna love the new Mission Impossible.
I'm excited.
And I have a feeling it has something to do with Tom Cruise, the man himself, one of the greatest actors of all time, merging with the Singularity as his final, most impossible mission.
Yes.
Isn't that a coincidence?
Totally.
You know, did I ever tell you that I like to make movies in real life?
You have.
So Mission Impossible is the movie that we're making now. The grand finale, or the start. And it's really, really exciting because all the naysayers, all the doubters and everything, your jaws are gonna drop once you see the actual creation. Because I'm not Adam Newman. I have no interest in just amassing a massive fortune and screwing over investors, nor am I Elizabeth Holmes. I am Daniel M. Reeses. The only thing me and these people have in common is we're all white. And we all talk really well on stage. And those two things are pretty much enough for you to solicit $400 million from people who don't know the difference between the real deal and charlatans masquerading as some sort of visionaries. I hate turtlenecks. I hate people who wear turtlenecks. Mitch Hedberg once said, when I wear a turtleneck, it feels like someone is choking me. And when I'm wearing a backpack, it feels like a little midget is choking me
Elizabeth
in a
Nonos
turtleneck.
used to wear them, right?
Oh my God, it's like a Steve Jobs.
Is that what she had
Yeah,
on?
she had the turtleneck and she started talking with bug eyes and, you know, like I said, I am not a doctor. I don't diagnose mental illness. I don't understand how human beings can't understand that if she's in the pharmacology or pharmacy industry or whatever she does, and her eyes look like that, obviously she's on a certain substance that makes her be able to like really believe in her own bullshit. And that's reality. The reality is we as a society so desperately want a female to be at the helm of some revolutionary new invention that we don't actually recognize that in order to commit fraud on $1 billion level, you must have thousands of people involved. The employees that are working on the test trials that are not, have something?
No, I had.
Oh, what?
I had something.
Oh, okay. You're very quiet.
Well, tell me.
I told you to be quiet because it's very hard for me to articulate, Jamie, we made a mistake. And I should have double checked the information. I thought that I was very clear, and I really want this video to allow people to make a final decision, whose side they're on, and that way we actually understand, is number 7 a mistake or was it correct? And it's presumptive assumption that the people who I believe are on my side are not actually on my side. And that's the real painful part of this video, is that it forces everyone's hand to make a decision. Make a decision, make a decision. People want to judge me based on my friendship with Jamie. You want to put me down because I'm able to create schematics, because I create a plan, because I argue my thoughts. I am a man of conviction, and I will not stop until I get exactly what I intend to get. That's mine. And then if I go forward, so be it. But I have very carefully designed that my success is rooted around being all in. All my properties have been stolen / are subject of fraud. Here is the actual applied mathematical schematics of how it works, timeline of fraud against Daniel M. Reeses, in case you don't understand. This will be submitted, and how much time? 3 minutes. So as we wrap this up, whether or not Judge Sherwood would watch this or not, it's very important for everyone to understand that human beings who don't have the mental capacity to follow what I'm saying will simply dismiss it as nonsensical ramble. No one will actually take the time to say, wait a second, if there is an app that comes out that's able to aggregate data from text messages, photo libraries, and things like that, Daniel has a lawsuit on his hands, and he can just use KASPER to file litigation against the people that copy him. Not Google, not Amazon, no one in Silicon Valley has invented what I have invented. Please save yourself the energy. Everyone had access to the same tools and watched the same media in order to execute. Jamie and I were the first people that actually did it. There's a lot of people that talk a lot, I've read a lot of things. I've read a lot of lawyers being scared of artificial intelligence.
Yeah.
But I've never seen a human being actually implement the full scope and
No, you
magnitude
didn't.
at the level that I've done. And we've gone to market, and we're first to market.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to say congratulations to you. Most likely you will be
Congratulations
very
to you.
rich in the near future if we are successful, because I have no interest in taking a single penny and being an unknown. And that's where the question mark really becomes a reality.
I
And that's why
love the
I'm able
question
to-
mark.
Well, the question mark is what we want to avoid. That's why we draw a line right
Right.
here, and this is what we create, and this is what creates us. So the question
Ooh.
mark is really, yeah, because this is a natural byproduct if we are successful here.
Yeah,
It is relatively simple logic.
makes sense.
Right.
It's logical.
That's right. Well, guys, she's the best assistant in business. I don't know what I would do without her. And I want to be able to end on a good note. I want to tell everyone it's Wednesday, the sun is shining, kiss your loved ones, because you never know what tomorrow brings. That is not some weird veiled threat. That is an understanding of a positive human
And
being.
it's a great weekend coming up.
It's a great week. It's
Yeah.
kind of early. It's the middle of the week, but essentially, I do not live to work. I work to live. But when you have a job as interesting as mine, and you have the stories and the content that I've created, if you decide to start lying, it'll put in jeopardy all the awesome things that you worked your ass off to create, because it will cast doubt. And on that note, I want to tell everyone, my name is Dan Reeses. Not only am I a federal agent, I also created a lot more than anything that I've shown here, and I'm really excited for the very near future. This is Ms. Jamie Resnick, also known as Misdirection, and we are out.